Hey everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of WoW Academy Live. So this is an entirely new format for my live streams in 2021. So this year, along with several other things that I'm trying to do here on the channel, I'm trying to rework and kind of rebrand what I'm doing and tune my channel into what I'm good at and what you guys like from me. If you guys remember, towards the end of the year, I put out a video where I asked you, hey, what videos do you guys want to see? What do you want? And I got so much good feedback from all of you, and I took all that feedback into consideration, and I came up with a couple of ideas and a strategy for the channel, and this is a huge part of it. This is actually the thing that I think I'm most excited for this year, and I hope you are too. So typically we would just jump right into the live stream, but I want to make sure that I take time and let you guys know what's going on and what's going on with the channel and what these live streams are. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time explaining the other stuff because I'll explain that during that. But I do want to take time to mention what's coming. So you guys may have noticed last week I put up a preview of the weekly update, which is a new weekly show that's going to be coming out here on the channel every single week with news about World of Warcraft, what's going on the channel, what I've been doing creatively around the web and the internet. So it'll be a quick, hopefully 10 to 30 minute segment for you guys where I hit the highlights and give you my thoughts and opinions and just catch you up to speed on all the news that's going on. Also in that update, there's going to be, in that weekly update, there's a chance for Patreon to ask questions. And also I'm going to be reading comments from my videos from the previous week. Some of those are going to be popping up there as well. So if you take the time to leave a comment on a video, you might get to see me read it and answer it on video in the weekly update. So that's going to be pretty cool. Also, I've decided that I'm going to try to hit a cadence of one nice premiere edited guide every 2 weeks or so. Which means twice a month you'll get something that's the equivalent of my weak auras guide, or my Blood Death Knight tanking guide, or one of my specialization introduction guides. So we'll have a regular cadence and a regular pace for those coming out. And those are kind of the 2 points of the triangle. And the third one here is WoW Academy Live. So what I've decided to do is, I wanted to do something with my live streams that was meaningful. I like going live. I like connecting with the community. But just getting on and randomly playing stuff, it's not awful, but I wanted to do something more. I wanted to give you guys more. I wanted to tailor this to the kind of stuff that you were looking for. And from the feedback I got from you, you guys when I take the time to go through rotations and talk about things, and you were looking for fundamental skills and all that kind of good stuff. And you liked when I went through dungeons and talked about what I was doing. And I thought that my live streams would be a great place to do something like this. And so I came up with the idea of WoW Academy Live. And the idea here is that every week I'm going to come to the live stream with a topic that I've chosen. And you guys are definitely, you can recommend topics in the comment section below for next week or the week after. If you have an idea for something you'd like to see an Academy session on, definitely drop that in the comment section below, and I'll definitely consider that. But every week I'll come with a new topic, and we'll spend the first third to a half of the stream talking about that topic, going over it, discussing it, showing gameplay examples, or whatever we need to do depending on the topic. And then the last 2/3 to a half of the stream, we're going to actually go out and we're going to play something. It might be running dungeons. It might be hitting Torghast. It might be, doing a little bit of leveling to kind of show off what we've done. But we're going to take something, do something that applies to what we talked about at the beginning of the live stream, and I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to talk you through it just like I've done on my dungeon runs at the end of my guides. So if we have a WoW Academy Live episode where we're talking about talent builds for tanking on Blood DK, then we'll talk about that. We'll show rotations and examples in the first half, and in the second half, we'll actually go run some dungeons, and I'll walk you through what I'm thinking while I'm tanking, and you'll get to see some live examples. So that's the general idea of what's going on with WoW Academy Live, and it is live, so you guys have the chance to interact with me. I see some chat over there, and I'm going to get it. I'm just trying to get through this spiel. So hello to everybody. I'll catch up to you. So yeah, that's it. I'm super excited about this. I hope that you guys like this idea. You know, obviously we'll have to figure it out together, but yeah, that's what's going on today, because I wanted to introduce the idea, and I'm honestly, I'm a little nervous and stuff, you know, I'm a little excited about what's going on. I kind of threw myself a soft pitch here, and we're going to be talking about how to craft a leveling build, how to create a talent build designed for leveling, and what goes into that, and what I think about when that is what I'm looking to do, so that you guys can take that knowledge and apply it to your own builds. Not copycat what I do. You're welcome to do that, but hopefully have that knowledge to create that stuff yourself. If you guys can't tell, I'm all nervous, but it's good because I'm excited. So the last thing I want to touch on here before I hop into chat and we get going on this is I do have kind of like a mantra. I don't know. I always say mantra in my head, but for WoW Academy Live, the goal here is that we can be casually confident. Okay, that's my goal, is to give you the confidence to play World of Warcraft at a casual level, and then take everything that you learn here and move in whatever direction you want. Whether you want to get like pro gamer skills, whether you want to go to mythic dungeons, PvP, you know, you just want to go out and farm herbs and mine. Whatever it may be, my goal is to get you confident at that casual level and then let you take it from there. So let's jump into this chat. We've got Theory, we've got Cass, we've got Murphy. Okay, we got the crew showing up. I appreciate it. What is up, everybody? You're not that late. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be a great time to do the stream on Mondays, but it's what works for my schedule right now. So for the foreseeable future, WoW Academy Live is going to be every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you can tune in, great. If not, these should work pretty good as VODs for you as well. So let's get my big head off the screen. This is what we're doing. Creating a talent build for leveling. Okay. And this is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the elements that go into creating a talent build for leveling when I am considering making one, when I'm getting ready to play a new spec. So we're going to talk about each of these, and we're going to talk about them actually in the game. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So we're here in Oribos. I've got my level 60 warrior, who obviously doesn't need to level, but that's okay. I've still been questing and gearing up and trying to level up renown and all that kind of good stuff. And a special sneak preview for those of you who have tuned in here. The guide I have coming next week is what to do at level 60. So I know some of you have probably figured that stuff out, or you're doing the best you can, or you have somebody else's guide that you've been looking at, but I'm going to bring my Tsetzuko version of that guide to you guys and hopefully walk you through, you know, where to pick up your weekly quest and what you should try to tackle per week versus per day, and what helps your covenant, what helps your rep, all that kind of good stuff. That's the guide I'm working on for next week, the big like edited premium style guide. So hopefully that's going to help you. It's helping me for sure, because, you know, I got to 60 and I was like, wow, there's like a lot going on. So let's go ahead. I need to not look like a bum for this video. I wanted to come up with a new transmog, but I just haven't been able to. I haven't gotten enough Shadowlands gear for it yet. So we're just going to go with the good old classic Horde style warrior here. Aggie says, what's up? Cass says, yay, I need that because I've not played in a couple of weeks. Awesome. I need that because I forget. And then I make guides and I forget myself. Okay, so let's jump in here and talk about this. So when it comes to crafting a talent build for leveling, I've got this list of 6 different things that I think about, and we're going to go down these in order and we're going to talk about them. So the first one is context, right? And context, when I say context, I mean a couple of things here. When you are considering the context of your leveling build, you need to think about how are you playing and what are you playing on, right? So first off, are you playing solo? Are you playing with a friend? Are you playing in a group? Those things will vastly change what you're going to do in your talent build. If you're playing solo, then you've got to worry about survivability, you've got to worry about, damage, you've got to worry about all these things. But if you're playing with a buddy who's in a tank spec, or you're playing a healer so you can heal them even if they're not, that dynamic definitely changes. In my case, most of the time I'm creating a solo talent build for leveling, because most of the time I'm out there doing stuff by myself. And even if I sync up with somebody and do a couple things here or there, it's usually not for such a long period of time that I'm going to adjust my whole talent build in order to level with that person or have the optimum build. So we're going to approach this from the perspective of, we're creating a solo talent build here. And I'm going to use warrior as an example, but the stuff that I talk about during this stream is going to be applicable no matter what class or specialization you're on. I'm not going to talk about, oh, this is what I picked for warrior. I'm going to say, no, here's an example of what I'm talking about that's in warrior, but you can apply it to other classes. So you should be able to use this any class, any spec. So think about the context of like who you're playing with, right? Are you playing with anyone? Are you playing with a partner? Are you playing with a full group? I know in most cases, a lot of us are solo, or maybe we have like a spouse or a friend that we play the game with. And those dynamics definitely can change your talent build. So usually, most of the time, if you have a buddy, you either don't need as much survivability because they can do some tanking, or you don't need as much DPS because you guys can both DPS, or you don't need as much survivability because they can throw out some heals, right? So make those adjustments as you need to, and that might allow you to pick a talent that you would have to pass on normally. Marty, Mr. Nelson, how's it going? Thanks for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys enjoy. So the other aspect of context that we want to talk about here is the class and specialization that you're playing on. And maybe this is something that I need to make a quick guide or overview about, or it could be another Academy topic. You guys let me know in the comments. But different classes and different specializations have different strengths, right? So if you think about, and just generic example here, I'm not being overly particular, okay? But if you think about something like an Unholy Death Knight, they have a lot of AoE capability. They have a lot of multi-target capability. But they might have a different weakness, right? Maybe their survivability isn't that good. I'm just making it up, okay? If you're playing on a Prot warrior, like I'm playing on right here, I have tons of survivability, and I have pretty decent multi-target. I'm kind of low on damage, and my single target is just like okay. So I need to look at the class and spec that I'm playing as, think of the strengths and weaknesses, and when I'm creating a talent build, I want to focus on trying to shore up those weaknesses or accenting those strengths, depending on what I think I can get away with. And we're going to get into that as we get further down the list. But that's the context. Who are you playing with? What class and specialization are you playing? And what are the strengths and weaknesses of that class and that specialization? So we're going to use Prot Warrior as an example, because that's what I'm on here. And that might seem like an odd one to play as, but I like leveling as tank specs because their survivability is super high. You can pull a bunch of things all at the same time. But the big problem is a lot of times you can't kill things as fast as like a Fury Warrior or a Fire Mage or one of those damage dealing specs. So I look for ways to shore up the amount of damage. I know I can survive, right? So I want to go for damage. All right, so the next thing to consider here on the list, and this time we're going to get into the actual talents and take a look at some examples. We need to consider a couple of things. When you're leveling, a lot of times you're going to pull several different enemies, right? At the same time, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies. But Other times, you're going to be fighting that one elite enemy or that one quest boss or that one rare spawn or, that one big beastly enemy. And you want to make sure that you have a way to address both those situations. And we have single target and multi-target as the second and third points here. And they kind of go together, but we're going to focus on single target first. So if you're playing on a class or a specialization that doesn't have great single target damage by default, that's when you need to dig into your talents and see if you can find something that has a high output of damage on a single target. Now, for Prot Warrior here, we're going to look at this talent called Ravager, and we'll take this off the screen so you guys can see it. Now, this is actually an example of both, but we're just going to approach it from a single target perspective right now. If we look at my normal abilities, so I have Shield Slam. This does 1100 damage, but it's on an 8.5 second cooldown, right? If I've got Thunderclap, I'm doing 474, so about 500. My Revenge hits for about 700. Those are kind of my main damage dealing abilities right now that I can use kind of all the time. And you'll see like Revenge cost Rage, Thunderclap has a cooldown, Shield Slam has a longer cooldown. So even with the abilities that are doing a little bit over 1,000 damage, they still have limitations. If I hit that rare spawn, that tough enemy, I don't want to sit there for 2 minutes just trying to hit Shield Slam, Thunderclap, and Revenge a lot. I want to have a button that I can push that just deletes an enemy or pretty close to it. Ravager is a good example of this. So this is an ability on a 45-second cooldown that will deal 2,870 physical damage to up to 8 enemies over 11.3 seconds, and it generates Rage. So if you look at the damage that this does, it does over 2 times the amount of damage of Shield Slam, which is my hardest hitting like normal ability that I can use. That's a huge uptick in damage. This immediately tells me like, hey, if I drop this on something, it's going to do a ton of damage to it. It's going to melt it. So this ability is one of those abilities that I can look at and go, okay, Protection Warrior, don't have that great of, damage dealing abilities. Where can I find that? And Ravager is a great example. It does over 2 times the damage of that main skill that I'm using all the time. And on top of that, it will give me Rage, which will let me hit this Revenge ability over and over again. So it's like multifaceted. I don't want to get too deep into the Protection Warrior specifics, but just kind of step back and go, that's what I'm looking for, right? Where's a button that when I push it, it does way more damage than I'm normally able to do to a single target. So that's a great example there. Now, maybe you're a class that has great single target damage, like you're playing on like any of the rogue specs, where you can just delete a single mob. In that case, you got good single target, right? That's context. Look at the spec that you're playing as. You have a class that can just delete a single opponent, but maybe you struggle when there are multiple opponents because you're squishy. You take a lot of damage. So you're going to look in your talents for ways to shore that up. And that's where the next little section here goes, where we get into multi-target. Tyler says, just wanted to say you've been a huge help to my WoW playing. I'm avoiding Shadowlands content until I finally upgrade, so I'm headed out. Just want to say thank you. All right, appreciate you tuning in. Thanks. So, single target. If you don't have some great single target, dive into your talents. Try to find abilities that will shore that up, right? Give you that delete button. When it comes to multi-target, in my opinion, is generally a little bit more important because you're going to be pulling a lot of small enemies, weaker enemies, a lot more often than you're going to be just dealing a lot of damage to that one tanky enemy when you're leveling, right? So it's much more common for you to pull like 3 or 4 weak guys than it is for you to pull one big guy. So in my opinion, multi-target's a little bit more important. And if you struggle with multi-target, you need to get in and look for places where you can shore that up. Now, on Protection Warrior, I kind of have decent AoE multi-target damage. My Thunderclap hits a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't hit very hard. My Revenge will hit a bunch of stuff, and it hits decently hard. So I have some moves in there. More often than not, I'm hitting a bunch of people rather than just one. But even so, I struggle with damage, so it's good for me to have more ways to do that. We just looked at Ravager as an ability that will hit up to 8 enemies for that huge amount of damage. Well, I also went in and I picked up Dragon Roar. This has a 30-second cooldown and does 1900 damage, so almost double that of my Shield Slam to all enemies within 12 yards. It does reduce damage to secondary targets, but we're not going to get into that. The point is, I hit Dragon's Roar, and boom, I get an AoE ability around me that hits multiple targets. So now when I get engaged in these groups of enemies, and as a Protection Warrior that, you know, has high survivability, I'm in this situation a lot, I can pull a bunch of things, and I can use my Thunderclaps and my Revenge, but then I also have Ravager, and I have Dragon Roar on top of that. So I have more ways to output that DPS. If you're on something like a Rogue with that high single target damage and maybe lower survivability, you may look for ways to augment your single target abilities. You might look into your talents for abilities that let you hit multiple targets, or things that let you survive dealing with multiple targets. That's the other side of the coin to both of these, is survivability. And that's kind of what we get into here next. You got to look at those ways for you to survive multiple targets and single targets. So in the case, if you think of like Rogue, they have their little healing vial, Crimson Vial, that will heal them some health, but it has a fairly long cooldown. So you want to look for ways in your talent builds to make it so that you can survive if you take on 5 different enemies, because you're going to be taking a lot of damage really quickly. Maybe with that single target, you know, you can Crimson Vial and heal yourself, take some damage, you know, kind of back and forth just with this one target. And right when it gets close, Crimson Vial again. And maybe that's good enough. But you got to think about both sides of the coin. On Protection Warrior, I struggle sometimes if I pull like a ton of enemies. Not too much. It's usually not too bad. But sometimes on those single tough enemies, I struggle a little bit. And one of the keys for my survival is going into my talents, and I've got this ability called Impending Victory. And this ability here lets me attack the target and heal for 30% of my maximum health. And anytime I kill an enemy that yields experience or honor, it resets the cooldown. So this is really cool because if I'm fighting 8 different people and my health is going down low, if I kill one of them, I can heal for 30% and then kill another one and heal for 30% and kill another one and heal for 30%. This is a super important tool for me for surviving multiple targets. But by the same token, it helps me against that single target as well, because when they get me down to 70% of my health, I can hit Impending Victory and heal, and then I've got to wait 30 seconds for the cooldown, but I can use some of my other cooldowns or defensive abilities and kind of wait it out until I can use this again to heal myself for 30% health as well. So when it comes to that single target and that multi-target aspect that we're talking about here, it's both the damage output and surviving. So you look for those tools, and it's not always going to be healing. Sometimes it'll be crowd control. Like a great pickup on Mage is to get 2 charges of your Frost Nova. That's one of the talents you can pick up. So you can hit Frost Nova and you can kind of like freeze everything around you, get out of the way, regen some health, or take down one enemy or whatever that may be. And then you have another charge if you need to do it again. It might be a defensive barrier. It might be a movement skill that will let you run away if you get yourself into a bad situation. So think about both those. So after that, the next consideration for me is cooldown length. And this is something that you'll see a drastic difference on between raid builds, dungeon builds, mythic plus builds, and leveling builds. And I'm as a player, I'm just partial to the type of cooldowns that I use for leveling anyway. But when you're leveling, you're very often killing a group of enemies and immediately moving to the next group of enemies and the next group of enemies. If you think about a dungeon or if you think about a raid, a lot of times you're stuck in one place trying to kill a boss that could take, 3, 5, 7, 10 minutes to kill. And in that case, you just want to deal all the possible damage to that one target, and it doesn't matter about the cooldowns because you might actually get to use the cooldown multiple times on the boss, or you might just only have that one go, and then everybody dies and you wipe, and by the time you get back, all your cooldowns are back. That's not really the case when you're leveling. When you're leveling, if you hit a button that has a 3-minute cooldown, chances are you're going to kill 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups before you get to use that ability again. So when you're looking at the talents that you want to pick up, you want to take into consideration the cooldown length on those talents as well. And I think Protection Warrior is a decently bad example of this because they don't have a whole lot of abilities from talents that just have cooldowns, but they do have abilities that interact with abilities with long cooldowns. So a great example of this is the abilities that we've already talked about. So we have... What's going on? My computer froze. Hang on a second, you guys. Sorry about this. I'm going to have to close WoW and reopen it. Sorry about this, everyone. I don't know if I disconnected or what. It would be during this first stream. So sad. All right, so let's get back in here. And so we're talking about cooldown length. So the point that I'm getting at here is that when it comes to your leveling build, I usually try to err on the side of picking up talents and abilities that have a 1-minute cooldown or less, roughly. 90 seconds is okay, but preferably 1 minute or less, or that interact with abilities that have cooldowns of 1 minute or less whenever possible. So in this case, if we were to look at Dragon Roar, that's a talent that I pick up. It's got a 30-second cooldown. This means I can basically use this every fight, every other fight. No problem. I've got Ravager, 45-second cooldown. This means it's probably every other fight at least. But what I can do here is use it on those moments when it really counts. But I can still use this pretty consistently. In the case of something like, let's see, like anger management here. This says every 10 rage you spend reduces the remaining cooldown on avatar and shield wall by 1 second. Well, if we look at those abilities, shield wall has a 4-minute cooldown. So even if I'm reducing the cooldown on avatar and shield wall by 1 second, I'm still looking at a 4-minute ability that I'm interacting with here, as opposed to this ability, heavy repercussions, which makes my shield slam generate more rage. That's an ability that I can use every 8.5 seconds. So I'm going to get a lot of use out of this when I'm leveling. If we look at our avatar ability, that's one. It's got a 1.5-minute cooldown, so it's a little bit better there. But like I said, in this case, it's a matter of choosing a talent that interacts with something I can use really frequently versus something infrequently. And when it comes to leveling, I tend to err on the side of, pick up the talent that I can use more often. Now, heavy repercussions is generally not something that I think I would pick for dungeons or anything like that. I haven't done super serious dungeon tanking yet. I've actually tanked with this talent just fine. But And I'm not sure if, Shadowlands comparison, how it goes, but something like bolster or anger management to me is definitely more tuned towards getting into a dungeon and being able to use those abilities more often on tough enemies and bosses. So in general, when I get into the talents, once again, consider that cooldown length and consider how often you're going to be able to use those talents and abilities. Something might sound super awesome, but if you only get to use it every 5 minutes and you don't really need it because you're just fighting regular enemies, not dungeon bosses or anything, then it's probably not really worth it. Unless you just really need that super, you need that moment of cool awesomeness every now and again to kind of wake you up from the leveling process. In which case, more power to you, go for it. So the next thing that I look at is speed and mobility. Now this one to me is huge. When you're leveling, you're in the open world, right? And you're trying to get those quests done as fast as possible. You're trying to get to max level. Unless you're on an alt or you really enjoy the story, that's the goal. Some classes do not have good mobility or good speed. And even the ones that do, a lot of times can use more because you are in areas where you can't mount up, or you're getting attacked by stuff so it won't let you mount up, or you're in an area like the maw where you can't mount up. And you need ways to travel from place to place, or you have to go down into a cave for a quest and you're done with the quest and you don't want to kill 87 things to get out of the cave. So you're just going to run through, and having a couple speed movement abilities are definitely going to help you out. Some really big offenders for this, in my opinion, is Warlock, Priest, Death Knight. Those are easy ones for me to go, yep, they don't have a lot of ways to go fast. Surprisingly, Hunter as well. Hunter, you've got to use Aspect of the Cheetah, which has a long cooldown. Priest, you have to pick up a talent. For Death Knight, you've got an ability, I think it has a 1 minute cooldown that you can use, or you got to pick up a talent. Warlock, you got to pick up a talent. So any of those kind of classes that are just terrible in general for mobility and speed, when it comes to leveling builds, I want those abilities. They're almost always better to pick up, in my opinion, than anything else on the same row as them, because mobility is king when it comes to leveling. And it's not just getting from point A to B. Like I said, there's that cave scenario, but also you might just get in over your head when you're leveling. You fall off a cliff into a pack of 3 or 4 things that aggro you, and you need to get away, right? So that's a scenario where having those movement speed abilities can save you from having to do a corpse run, which is just a total waste of your time. So even on something like Warrior, which I feel like has pretty decent mobility, obviously I've got charge to get to and fro from enemies. I've got a heroic leap, so I can just jump and take off there. On this warrior, I'm Venthyr, so I've also got Dora Shadows. I have all these ways to move, and I still picked up Bounding Stride, which is a mobility talent here, that after I heroic leap, I get 70% run speed for 3 seconds, and the cooldown on heroic leap is reduced by 15 seconds. So mobility to me is huge. And I can't think of many classes where I pass over a mobility talent for anything else in a leveling context. So the last point to talk about here is complexity and fun. So this is personal to you, right? This comes down to what you want to do. So complexity and fun, I put those in the same tier because I think they can mean the same thing, but they don't necessarily mean the same thing. So you may want, when you're leveling, to have a brain dead talent build that you don't have to pay any extra attention to because you have Netflix on a side monitor and you just want to go and get your quest done, or you're like me, you've got an audiobook on, or a podcast or something, and you're just kind of following the motions, to get from point A to point B. So in that case, you may want to look through the talents, and you may want to think about how many extra buttons you're adding for you to push. If we look at this build here, I'm adding Dragon Roar and I'm adding Ravager. So I'm adding 2 extra buttons for me to push that I normally wouldn't push. I could pick up Booming Voice and Into the Fray, and I would no longer have any extra buttons that I needed to push for this build, and that takes 2 things off the table that I have to pay attention to. You may be playing like Beastmaster Hunter, which notoriously does not have a lot of buttons and still does really good DPS. So maybe you just want to play that simple, simplistic, zero thought type of build to get from point A to point B, to get from level 50 to level 60 or whatever it may be. And I think that's totally fine. So you got to think about that complexity level. On the other hand, maybe you don't have Netflix on the side. Maybe you don't have a podcast going. Maybe you want to be engaged with the game when you're leveling. And in that case, you may want to increase the complexity. The complexity can come both from extra buttons that you have to push, which gives you more things to pay attention to and more windows of opportunity to do stuff that's cool. But it can also come from talents that change the way you interact with different abilities. Right here, like double time, this increases the maximum number of charges that I have. That means that I get to charge more often. So now I'm thinking about, okay, I charge, I get some rage, I charge again, I've got more rage, I can build rage faster. That might adjust my build. Frost Death Knight has a lot of these talents where you pick up one of them and it totally changes the way that you can play the build. You can go for a speed build, you can go for a crit build, you can go for a multi-target build. So you can look at those kind of things. Another one here is Booming Voice. This says it generates 40 rage, which it normally doesn't do. And it also increases the damage you deal to affected targets by 20%. So this doesn't put a new button on my bar, but it takes an ability I have and turns it into something extra. It makes it more complicated. So I put that on the same kind of tier as fun because I don't think complexity equals fun for everyone. And I don't think complexity equals fun in every situation, right? Maybe you don't want to pay attention to all that stuff and it's fun for you to just hit 3, 4, 5 buttons and like watch your character and that kind of stuff, be involved in the actual like World of Warcraft and not the world of action bars, right? Or maybe you just want that simplicity because what's fun for you is having that podcast or Netflix on or whatever. But like I said, the other way, maybe doing something like that is super boring to you. And this can also vary with you from class to spec. Some specs I feel like just they're fun. Out of the box, no talents involved. I have a lot of fun. So I don't need to add complexity to them unless I want to. Other classes, I get on and I'm like, wow, this is unbelievably boring. And I have to dig into the talents and find stuff to spice it up for me. So those are all the things that I consider when creating a talent build for leveling. What I want to leave you with here at the end of all this talking and this spiel is that if you guys are interested in a talent build that I have for a class, or you want to go down this list of 6 things and leave me the parameters in a comment or on Discord and have me hook you up with a talent build that I think you'll enjoy, please do so. That's what I'm here for. That's what these academy things are for. It's going to take some getting used to for everybody, I know. But if you're like, hey man, I'm playing, I'm playing Elemental Shaman and it seems really boring. Can you give me a talent build that will spice it up? Like, I'll see what I can do. I'll hook you up. I play through all the classes, all the specializations, try all the talents and talent builds and stuff. So I have a pretty good idea. Or if you want to go down and just be like, hey man, I'm going to be playing by myself on this class, this spec. I want something that's not too complicated. Can you hook me up? Let me do that for you guys. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to provide for you. So that's all I've got for the leveling builds themselves. I wanted to touch on one final thing related to leveling here, and that is kind of what's the optimal way to level in Shadowlands. Okay, so as you may know, and if you don't, then here you go. Once you get your first character to max level and you get to the first chapter of your Covenant campaign, which you can check out by looking up in this section here, you're able to, on your alt characters, choose to replay the story the same way you did on your first character, or you can play the Threads of Fate version of your character. Threads of Fate completes all the story quests for you, lets you pick a covenant right away, but then you have to level by running dungeons, doing world quests, completing bonus objectives, and doing some special quests to help each of the different zone factions, with all their issues. So there's these two ways to level, and you may be wondering, like, which one's the best one? Well, if you don't know what covenant ability you want and you need to test all of them and try them all out, you should definitely level through the story again like you did on your first character. Also, leveling through the story like you did on your first character, if you're good at questing and being efficient, is generally going to be faster than leveling via Threads of Fate, especially if you are on a character that doesn't get quick dungeon queues. Okay, so in those scenarios, I would recommend that you play through the story, right? If you need to figure out what covenant ability you want or what covenant you want to go with, or if you're trying to level super efficiently. However, what I would recommend, the caveat I would put there, is when you get to like levels 59 and 80%, right before you hit level 60, go talk to the Threads of Fate person and switch to Threads of Fate. The reason I say this is in most cases, you're going to get to level 60 before you finish the story. But if you're playing the traditional way, you're going to have to finish out the story before you can start your Covenant campaign. If you get almost to level 60 and then you switch to Threads of Fate, it'll complete all that storyline stuff so that as soon as you hit level 60, you can just go straight into your Covenant campaign without all the other stuff. So that's the little hack, the little trick. I'll probably put this into its separate video, but we're talking about leveling, so I wanted to add it in here. As far as Threads of Fate go, if you're on a class or a specialization where you can get dungeon queues really easily, like a tank or a healer, boom, Threads of Fate is pretty good. You just run around, you do world quests, you fill up your bar for helping the faction or the zone faction that you're with, and you get that up and you get like a level. Like it's pretty quick if you can run dungeons and stuff. I would also say if you know what covenant you want to go right away, then it's fine to pick Threads of Fate, or if you just don't want to quest again. I literally put all my characters into the Threads of Fate system because I didn't want to do the story again. I liked the story, but I didn't want to do the story again. I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do. The additional bonus with going into Threads of Fate first is that you get access to world quests right away, so that you can access them for gear. If we look at world quests here, you're going to see a little bit extra because I'm at max level, but you can start collecting anima early. You can start getting rep early. You can start getting these little gold quests, start upgrading your gear, all that kind of good stuff. So for me personally, I like the Threads of Fate system. It's not necessarily the most efficient way to level, but I much prefer it over doing the campaign over again. However, if you're going to do the campaign for the first time or on an alt, you should definitely get this add-on, AAP. This is Azeroth Autopilot. And I wanted to show you what exactly this does. So I'm going to go in to my monk. My monk is the only character at this moment that's not in Threads of Fate, but he will be really soon. And he has the Azeroth Autopilot add-on enabled, and I just want to show this to you guys. So if you want to quest fast, if you want to level fast, get Azeroth Autopilot, play the storyline campaign up until you're almost level 60, then go switch to Threads of Fate and finish it off. So Azeroth Autopilot basically will give you this list. It'll give you an objective and it gives you an arrow. And this literally tells you what to do to level the fastest and the most efficiently, no matter what. So right now it wants me to speak to Adrestes. So it's got the little arrow. Typically this is going to be like, it makes more sense here. It actually points in the right direction. And this will tell me 231, do quest part. This add-on is also really great if you're leveling with a friend because it'll give you the number that you're both on and you can stay in sync with your quest without even having to, hey, did you finish that quest? Okay, oh yeah. So this is really good for that too. So if I were to run up and talk to Addressees, it'll go, boom, okay, you're on 232, get the flight path, right? So then it'll want me to go and get the flight path once I fly up here. Now, there's some other additional things that Azeroth Autopilot will do for you. You can turn these settings off. So if you do /AAP, you'll see some of your options here. But you can have it automatically accept quests, automatically turn in quests, automatically pick your quest reward based on what's the biggest item level upgrade. You can have it show this arrow. You can have it automatically skip cutscenes, automatically repair your gear, etc., etc. So now since I'm here, it wants me to go pick up that flight point. So let's go ahead and go do that just to show another example of how this works. So once again, if the arrow was here, it would point me in the right direction. It's being a little odd right now, but that's okay. All right, so then it wants me to go up here and turn in quest. Automatically turned it in for me, automatically got it, automatically picked the reward, automatically skipped the cutscene, and I am good to go on the next part, turn in the quest. Boom, automatically picked it up. Now it's telling me, hey, go pick up the quest. I've got the arrow and I've got dots on the minimap that show me where to go. So if I follow these dots, using this add-on is actually fantastic. If you were going to have like an audiobook or Netflix on or a podcast, because you don't even have to pay attention to anything. You just follow the arrows, you follow the dots, and you can just pay attention to what's in your headphones. And I like this a lot for that reason. So then it's going, hey, check the Ward of Purity. Boom. Okay, what's next? Ward of Loyalty. Boom. And I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this. I just wanted to give you an example of how this add-on works and why I think you should use it. Now, it's not just for Shadowlands. They do have a version of this that will get you from level 10 to level 50 as well. So if you're not quite into Shadowlands yet, you can also pick this up and use it that way. So let's go ahead and log out of here. Learning Windwalker Monk, any tips? I don't know. I guess it depends on what aspects you're trying to learn. A lot comes down to your talent build as well with Windwalker Monk. It's a lot of fun though. So if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If you don't, then have to wait for a video, I suppose. All right, so I didn't want to finish out this stream by going off and leveling because that kind of defeats the purpose of the stream here. I wanted to try to do something a little more educational, I suppose. So what I'm actually going to do here for the end of the stream, and I say the end of the stream, it's a ways off, guys. Like I said, this WoW Academy Live thing, it's supposed to be about a third to a half of the stream is the discussion portion, the education portion, and then 2/3 to a half of the stream is going to be, you know, actual, let's go out and play games and talk. Making bad decisions with this Red Bull so late in the day, but that's okay. So what we're gonna do at the end here is I'm gonna go do a Torghast run on Prot Warrior. I got into Torghast. If you guys have been watching any of my videos from the beta or anything like that, you know Torghast is something I'm super pumped about, and so I wanted to go in and do a run here. I don't have any. I haven't gotten too far because I've been leveling alts for the most part, but I do have a couple more layers that I need to do for Torghast to get my rewards for the week, so I figured I'd go into one of those and give it a shot. Unfortunately, I haven't played as much Torghast as I hoped that I would, since beta. I've played way more beta Torghast than live Torghast. Never played DPS. So are you worried about dungeons? Are you worried about leveling? Are you worried about, you know, raiding? So we're going to go Soul Forges, and we're going to jump into Layer 2. I'll have a Torghast guide coming out at some point in the future as well, like just like how all this works. I do cover it a little bit in the what to do at level 60 guide as well, and like how the rewards work and stuff. Oh, let's cancel. If you want to, okay. If anybody wants to jump in, if you're watching and you want to jump in on this Torghast run, like, let's go. We'll get it set up. I'll take a minute. So this is something that I wanted to mention. It's not going to be a big deal for the first stream or two, but actually joining me for the dungeon runs and Torghast runs and stuff is going to be it's a Patreon perk. Then it's a guild member perk. Like, that's kind of the priority order for that. But let's see. Yeah, if you want to, you can message me. I am on Top Chef. Top Chef US Proudmoore. So if you whisper me, it won't show up in chat and I can just add you. I'll give you a couple minutes to sort that out. I don't know how far behind the stream is, so. LTX Makilla says, love the stream. Did I, like, mess that up? LT Makilla? Is the X in there? I don't know. Hordyless. All right. Let me do this real quick. And I'll see if I can add you real quick. All right, we're gonna get this added here. All right, let me know if you got that message. It looks like you did. I'm pretty sure that's you. You should have just gotten an invite from me. We'll find out. Yeah. Okay, so we're back. I like to keep people's... I don't want to show people's details on stream. But yeah, come along. We'll go hit up Torghast. See how it goes. So we're gonna do Soul Forges. I think we can do Layer 2. Okay. Yeah, we both got to be in here first. I'm assuming you've done more Torghast than me because I've been alting it up. So I'm still picking out the topic for next week's WoW Academy Live. Like I said, this one I kind of threw a softball to myself with a topic that I thought was like fairly basic, fairly easy. I know a lot of you are like done leveling or you're, you know, focused on your main characters or whatever right now, but hopefully this WoW Academy session will be good for you when you get onto an alt or for new players especially. That's kind of what I wanted to go with here. Next week, we're probably going to actually get into a class and a specialization and kind of focus on, you know, we're probably going to talk about tanking next week. I'll just put it out there. Probably going to talk about tanking. Either that or I might showcase like Shadow Priest because that has so many new changes. And I know a lot of people are interested in that as well. But let me know in the comment section below if you have a preference or if you want to see something totally different. All right, looks like we're here. Can't do layer 2, it looks like. Let's see if we can do layer 1 of... Actually, yeah, let's go over and do this wing because I don't like it, so I'd rather do it with someone. Oh, it looks like you have both of them. We could just jump into layer 2. Yeah, let's try that. It looks like you can queue up for that one. I'm gonna make sure you can't queue for Soul Forges real quick. And if not, then yeah, we'll do upper reaches and just go straight to layer 2. That's like my least favorite wing in all of Torghast. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yep, we'll do the upper reaches. Oh my god. Oh, you're level 8 on ball. Okay, I think I just clicked something off on Soulforge. I'd rather do this one, so I'd rather do this one with someone. I'm not a fan of this one. Okay, let's see. Enemies affected by any of your shouts take 30% increased damage from all sources. Duration of avatar is increased by 60%. I'm not crazy about any of these, but this does make demoralizing shout pretty dope. So I think I'm gonna go with... do I go with this one? Or avatar increased by 60%. So that's like an extra 12 seconds. It's pretty... 12 seconds. So 30 something seconds of 20% increased damage or 30% from all sources. For 8 seconds. Well, I've got that, and I've also got my intimidating shout. I'm just gonna go with the shouts. I don't like min-maxing avatar stuff. All right. I have not tried this layer of Torghast, so please forgive me if I suck. Why? Okay, you got those pots. Good looking out on those pots. Oh, I also realized I have something wrong with my UI. It doesn't show the cast bars on the nameplates like it should. Let's grab them. Well, this should be fun. Oh, I didn't see what power you picked up. Did it tell me? I didn't see it. Can we link anima powers in chat? Oh yeah, we can. That's cool. Oh. Yeah, if you get anything relevant you think I should know about, just link it to me. Let's see, what are we pulling with this? Just skeletons. Okay, secret spices. I need to use that shout more. I don't have it built into my weak auras yet. Easy peasy. Dude, how do you feel about these these things, man, with the 4 stakes? Oh man, these take forever. All right. Okay, we're pull the whole group. I'm down. I'm like trying to take it easy just because that's what I'm used to with like bugs and stuff. And I'm like, wait, you're on layer 8. Like, why do we care? All right, what do we got here? This thing. Jesselyn, hey! Oh, you're playing with my husband. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. If you're in the Discord, let me know. I have a habit of bumping spouses up to Patreon level when one of the other ones is Patreon level. So, yeah, if you're in the Discord, let me know. I'll bump you up. If you can share Netflix, okay, you can share Tsetzuko subscription. That's the way I look at it. Man, I gotta get that shout going more often. Ooh. Man, we could probably just pull all of this. It's all melee too. Seriously? Oh, I'm on cooldown. Try to use my shout this time and I'm on cooldown. Oh yeah, I don't even like this rage mote thing, honestly. I feel like it's better on DPS classes. Or if I get it, I like to pick it up like right before a boss. Alright, what we got? When you attack an elite or rare creature for the first time, oh yeah, spawn the orb that heals you for 25% of your health. I don't think I need that. Your damaging spells have a chance to heal you for 5%. Look, no matter what I pick, I'm just like totally neutralizing your healing. I'm sorry. I have no choice. I had to pick one of them. Jackson says, love your videos. Fairly new to WoW, and your Blood Decay guide was easily the best video I could find. Awesome, and sorry it's outdated. It's not that different, but it definitely isn't Shadowlands current. Oh, we got a shackler. I don't really care about shacklers. My single target damage is terrible. It's all on you. %. I just need to get him into condemn range. I'll start doing some decent damage. I'm gonna save my demoralizing shout for that. I'm gonna have everything actually. I'll see how bursty I can get at like 25%. Here we go. Oh, you just sudden death him. Or not, touch of death. That's not fair. I was ready for the burst window. Oh, what do we got? Oh, Phantasma. I like that. Shield Slam cooldown reduction is good. Money. Shield Slam. Yeah, that's not even... I like this one, but it's not a consideration right now. So, picking this up, I use Impending Victory a lot, but I haven't even been using it as much because the healing has been fine. Shield Slam is my main single target damage ability, so I might want to pick this up for that. And this one has the Cloud of Obscuring Mist. It's pretty nice, especially when healing's an issue, but I think I'm going to go with Shield Slam here, just because I haven't been using Impending Victory as much because I haven't needed the healing. So... Oh, I know you're in the Discord group. I meant your husband. Really wanted to tank, was super nervous about it. Without your blood decay guide, I might not have ever played a tank class. Now I feel like I'm pretty decent. Awesome. Did I lose him? There we go. Well, if you hang around in the Discord and stuff like that, you might have the opportunity. If you need a group or something, you can always message and see if our community will hop in on a run you want to tank. No, get him. I guess we'll go this way. Do you want to pull all of it? I think we can pull. Let's pull all of it. I'm gonna make you heal this time. A little bit, anyway. Give me 1 second. I need to add a Shield Slam to my weak auras real quick. It will not take very long. I cannot spell Shield Slam. Let's move this up. Let's go triggers. I really just want status action usable Shield Slam. That's all I need. Trigger one. Cool. All right, let's pick these abilities. Or not pick these abilities. Okay, increased damage on Shield Slam. That's the main thing there. Ignore pain absorbs additional damage equal to 10% of your max health. Okay, no real choices there. I'm good if you're good. And you look cooler than me. Let's go for this one. Probably pick those up too. Man, Shield Slam is coming up a lot more than I thought it was. Oh, got me. Ready for another one? Let's do another one. I feel like as long as my cooldowns for damage are up, we could probably just keep doing this. So like every minute or so. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a big pull like that every time I've got Blade Storm up. Really need to get that add-on Opie. I really just tried to mount. Also, I haven't had Battle Shout on this whole time. I need to put that in my weak auras too. I just get so caught up in wanting to play. Forget about my buffs like a noob. I want some more exciting anima powers. These have been pretty boring. Have you gotten anything good? I'm alright. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's pull over to the archer here. Alright, I got Blade Storm up, so I'm going for another big one. Get out of that. It's a little more fun, right? Paul says, hey, Tsetsuko. Hey, Paul. What's up? We didn't get a single anima power out of that whole group. Do you have to pop a bunch of cooldowns on that one, or was it pretty chill? I want to know. Just destroyed your CC. Let's see. I don't think I want to pull all of them. Gotta get out of this bad habit of running backwards because I have a joystick. This will work. Really good. Just about to watch a video on how I'm approaching class guides in Shadowlands. And I want a main monk, if that's any good for this expansion. I think you mentioned it will be your main. Well, I'm also just considering Torghast as the main thing that I want to participate in. And I want to play Mistweaver monk in Torghast. Look, I didn't get the quest or the thing. Good looking out. Wait, why is there a 10 soul remnants or door? I'm not even using Door of Shadows. Just gonna take the soul remnants. Hey, I got a new follower. I don't even have the follower system unlocked. Or wait, no, I do. I had it on researching before. Yeah, monk. Monk is going to be one of my mains. It's my Kyrian main for this expansion, but it's only at like level 53 right now. Unfortunately. Are you going to delete this one too? I'm fine with it. You can delete them. Hey, get back in my Blade Storm. No. Hitting the wrong button. Yeah, I really need to get this cast bar back. Something good. Soul's Remnant's Blessing increases the duration of shield wall by 20% per application. So 16, that is ridiculous. It's a long cooldown, but that's ridiculous. Or my attacks have a chance to fire a magic bolt of frost damage. Yeah, I'm gonna take that because I need DPS all day. Sorry about that bump there. Mike says, just completed a world quest? Like, a special one? Or the first one ever? Or... I gotta say, like, I'll have a video on my thoughts on Shadowlands coming out as well, but... Man, what is with the questing in this? What are you gonna do, Cordy? What's the plan? I'm gonna do this. Goodbye. Hey. Look at me cheating. Cordy, no. No. Door of Shadows, baby. That is a little bit loud, huh? Hey, you know, there's this there's a switch on the wall. I could have turned that off. Okay, I wasn't being a dick there. It's funny, but I didn't even realize the lever was there. But now that I know it's there, it's kind of funny, and also I'm sorry. If I would have seen it, I would have just turned it off. Monk is super fun. Touch of Death in Torghast is the bee's knees. I agree. Touch of Death in Torghast on the boss or whatever is pretty great. Really? You're gonna put the axe right there? Man. Alright, what do we get out of this one? Hey, an epic! Your first shattering throw on a floor deals 4,000% increased damage and shatters an anima cell from the target? Whoa! Free anima powers? 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna buy as well. I like to pick that one up and see what I get first before I buy stuff from the vendor. What is that good old Draven? What are you doing there, Draven? Mysteries. What? Goodbye. What just happened? Oh man. I could get the Ravenous Animus though. When you fall below 20% health, immediately heal to full health once per floor. Thunderclap and Whirlwind damage increase. We get the Impending Victory. I probably want to take that one. I think that and the Whetstone. That puts me at 250. I'd have enough for... That's it, huh? That's all I'd have enough for. Yeah, I'm gonna get those. Top Chef, let's go! What's up, Sean? Some good Torghast moments here. Enemies within 15 yards have their casting speed reduced. Yeah, sure. Works for me. Okay, so my first shattering throw does... How much was it? 400%? 4,000%. Okay. It does a lot of damage. What did you get? Did you get anything epic out of there? Anything interesting? Also get us an anima power from that too. Watch out. Got him. All right, floor 4. We're over halfway. This looks fun. Oh, he's gonna run away. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna get you. Get back here. Get back here. I'm not gonna make it. Oh well. Oh wait, way to delete him. I approve. Is there anything worth checking out in here? Probably. Ow. Oh, I got hit by one of these Stupid bullets. No, come back. I was gonna heal myself. Oh, we're good. We got heals. This is a weird floor. It's just traps, huh? Pew. Pew. What do we got? One anima power? Impending victory. Ignore pain. We'll take the impending victory. Yeah, I'm gonna use I guess I'm gonna use my shattering throw on the boss. Wait, it says does not work against bosses. Okay, so save me a maw rat. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I guess I'll take some versatility. This is a super weird floor. Your damaging spells and abilities empower your weapon, increasing the damage of your next melee strike by 117, stacking up to 100 times. Yeah, that seems fine. I'll take that over the healing one anyway. I barely missed that axe. All right, let's go. Imperial Duelist. This is a super chill. I wonder if this guy is supposed to be like more powerful or something. Or I can't remember. Maybe if that guy gets his spell off, it spawns enemies and you just deleted him in time. I think that's how it was in the beta. Look at our weak sauce DPS. Touch of death. Some Phantasma, increase rage generation, or cooldown on shield slam. I think I'm getting to hit shield slam enough. I'll take the rage generation. Pots. Just hang on a second. I can just teleport over there and stop it. Really, dude? Like, could you not? Okay, now hang on. And click. Look at that. See? I'm a good friend this time. Unlike last time. Ooh, we got a rare. I'm gonna hit that with this shattering throw. Yay, anima power. Berserker's Rage lasts 300% longer. Okay. Fear Sap, Incapacitate. I like the effect that they added to Massive Strike. It's pretty cool. It was like kind of hard to see in beta, but I like the little weird bubbly effect. Actually makes me think of, oh man, I don't know the name of it. Starts with a D in Path of Exile. Delirium. Yeah, it makes me think of the Delirium effects. You better have something. Sitting off here in the corner for no reason. Did you just... Why? Why? Touch of death, that little scrub. That's funny. What's up, Moriaz? Oh. Okay. More rats explode on death. Let's go for the rare spawn. I want to see if my shattering throw kills him. If it doesn't kill him, then oops. Oh, it didn't kill him. Okay. All the anima cells. I'm just going to take the money. All in combat become incorporeal at random intervals, reducing damage taken by 99%. All in combat release an uncontrolled howl that inflicts shadow damage to enemies and interrupts spells. Yeah, I'm going to take that. That seems better. And we get another one. Amazing. That's 3 in a row. Ooh. Certain anima cells offer an additional choice. Well, I've only got 1 floor left, but I'll take that over the see what things have animas powers in them. Hey, there goes that random shout. All right, so what do we have going on here? Where's the door? I'm gonna guess it's over. It's usually towards the quest objective, I think. Wow. Okay. They got deleted. That was a lot of yelling being done in there randomly. That doesn't show up in my log, though. I guess it's... I mean, I'm not doing it. It's just doing it randomly, so that's probably why. Hello. Button. Oh, it's buttons. Buttons. Little mini monstrosity. Look at him. Alright, a bag filled with bones and meats, or have a chance to grant versatility. I don't think I need versatility, so I'm just gonna take this bag of bones and meat. Let's see what kind of bones and meat we get. We got some crawler meat and some ribs. I had some ribs on Saturday. No, Friday, and then I got sick. Do we have one final axe before the boss? Nope. Let's go. Oh, that's not cool, dude. Should have been using Avatar more often. Alright, what do we got? Dealing physical damage has a chance to confuse the target. That is not going to work on the boss. I don't believe it's going to work on the boss. Casting Dwarf Shadows reduces the cast time of Dwarf Shadows, blah, blah, blah. This one's pretty good, but not against the boss. Whereas this one is, when you attack an elite or rare creature, spawn a nearby orb that will heal you for 25% of your max health. Against bosses, we get 3 orbs instead. This is the only one that I think is like relevant for the boss fight we're about to do, so we'll pick up that one. Did I miss the leveling build part? Yes, it was at the start of the stream, but it'll be available on VOD. It should be later this evening. If not, yeah, it should be later this evening. Synod. Alright, we got a plundered anima cell. Armor and block value increased. Shield slam damage increased. Whirlwind thunderclap damage increased. Okay, let's do shield slam damage increased against the boss. That'll be nice. I'm not too worried about thunderclap damage. Let's go with armor and block value. And I guess we will take the thunderclap damage. There's not really anything else here. If I was going further, I'd probably just save the anima, but since this is not the twisting corridors, that's not really an option. I guess we'll grab. I don't really feel great about getting versatility, but that's fine. Stop running. Ooh, man. I like Pummel knocks the target away and stuns them for 4 seconds. I wonder how fast this will get diminishing returns on the boss. Gain the victorious effect every 20 seconds, allowing the use of impending victory. Wow, that's actually pretty dope. And we could just get more DPS. These are all really nice. If I was going to continue the run, I would pick up this Pummel one because it's so good being able to stun like everything for 4 seconds. This one also seems really nice for the boss if I was struggling on healing, but I'm paired up with a healer here, so I don't really want to pick that. And that's kind of the interesting thing about these anima powers. It's kind of like picking talents, right? Consider the, grouping that you're in, your strengths and weaknesses on the class and spec that you're in, all that kind of good stuff. So here, like this victorious effect, if I was solo, I would grab that for sure because that would just let me heal so much more. But since I'm doing this with a healer, like, seems a little bit overkill. So I actually think that for this boss fight, and because it's the last fight here, I just want more DPS. Help us kill this guy faster. So that's what I'm going to grab. Roger that. Like the idea of the WoW Academy. It's super relevant right now with so many returning and brand new players. Yeah, I hope it's a cool idea that, I can refine over time. And that will help the channel to grow into something kind of its own. Okay, those are those orbs that will heal me. Oh, that's a lot of orbs. Yeah, that's another reason that the victory thing would have been a little bit overkill. You're just gonna keep walking in circles around me, man? What are you trying to do? Like prance around? Oh yeah, I do have a Blade Storm. Good. Get that damage buff from it. Still got 40 seconds on Avatar. I don't have any of my cooldown trackers for Warrior set up yet for weak auras. Okay, now we get into this condemn into shield slam spam. Or you could just touch death the boss. Monks stealing all the thunder. I'm just kidding. That's exactly what I would have done on my monk. I would have just deleted him. Goodbye. All right, and we're out. Let's see. Go ahead and make sure. Okay. All right, Cordy. Well, thanks for joining me. That definitely made the Torghast run a heck of a lot smoother here. And that is pretty much going to do it for the first episode of WoW Academy Live. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. Like I said, threw myself a softball on this one. We got the leveling guide, but I hope that'll help you on your alt characters, or if you're new to World of Warcraft, I hope that'll help as well. A little Torghast run here at the end just for fun and to get that in. Like I said, next week we should be focused on a class and a specialization. Probably going to be a tanking one, but no promises. Just, I get a lot of traction for that here on the channel, so it's probably a good idea. And let's see. 1 second. All right. And yeah, so that's probably what we're going to hop into next week. Let me know what you like of the idea in general. Like I said, next week it'll probably be like talk about talent builds and tanking and rotations and stuff. And then moving on to some dungeons. We'll run some dungeons. Honestly, at the end of the day, WoW Academy Live should feature a lot of dungeon runs and a lot of me talking through what I'm doing in those dungeons as well. So we'll see how that goes. Don't forget other new stuff for the channel for 2021. So we got WoW Academy Live every Monday at 6 p.m. Central. We've got the weekly updates videos, which there's a preview episode out on the channel. If you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to give it a look. My voice is dying. Those, I believe, are going to be coming out on Thursdays or Fridays. I got to take this week and figure out kind of what that cycle, that schedule looks like for me, but it should be Thursdays or Fridays that those come out. And then also every 2 weeks or so, you're going to get a new updated guide from me. These are the like premium guides that I was talking about. Stuff like the Weak Aura's guide, or the Blood Death Knight tanking guide. I keep going back to that one because it's pretty popular. The next one coming up is actually going to be what to do at level 60 in Shadowlands. So if you've hit max level or you're getting close and you're like, what's the optimal way to do this stuff? I'm going to have that kind of guide and checklist going for you there as well. So that'll be the first premium guide that'll be coming next week. And I say premium just because like I'm considering the WoW Academy stuff guides, just not at the same tier of like editing being done. It's a different type of guide, so I got to distinguish them somehow. And that's the only reason I'm saying premium. There's no like money or subscription or Patreon or anything attached to that. But that being said, you can check the links in the description below for the channel Patreon if you want to support these streams, new guides, the weekly WoW updates, all that kind of good stuff. You can do that there via the Patreon. There's nice new perks that have been updated for January and moving forward in 2021. So be sure to check that out. There's also a link to the channel Discord if you want to come and join our community. We've been quiet over the holidays, but we'll ramp up now that we're through all that stuff. So thanks you guys for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me ramble at the beginning and end of this stream, kind of letting you know what's going on. I'm probably going to do the same thing for a couple more of these until people get used to it and kind of understand what's going on. And for those of you who made it and tuned into this one after,